really has been over a period of I don't know how many years, but about 5 years ago, the Lord allowed me to start volunteering at Moanalua Elementary, which is right next door to our church. And I'm thankful that at our church, that's part of our job description as pastors, is to be out in the community. And so since I'm the children's pastor, I saw the school as part of my children's ministry. And so I started volunteering there and just went and said, hey, I want to just do whatever you need. And so, I got to build relationships and, just to be honest, I think this year, before the start of the school year, I was kind of discouraged and I was just feeling like, because of COVID, volunteers weren't allowed on campus last year. So I couldn't be there. And so I was kind of discouraged, feeling like, Lord, like, what's going on? And my brother, Daniel, who's our lead pastor, he had encouraged the pastors to watch this interview that Carrie Newhoff did with Rick Warren. And Rick said something very interesting in that he said what he has seen over these last 40 years or whatever is that there's a lot of senior pastors that give up right before, he didn't use these words, but basically the breakthrough. And he said what he has seen is it's kind of like a 7-year period where you have to like till the ground and really like invest. And he was saying there's a lot of pastors that give up right before that. And so the Lord had reminded me of that. And I was like, okay, wait a minute. Okay, it's been 5 years. Oh my gosh, I gotta keep going. And so yeah, and I just know it started with our church has definitely been praying for years and years. But Marion and our family moved into the church parsonage in 2019. And so we started praying. And when Mary and I were talking about what we're going to share, he was like, "Oh, this is more you." And I was like, "No way," because I can't be the ecclesia by myself. And I think that's the reality. That's the truth, right? If Jesus said it's two or more, that's how you legislate. It is us. And I think a lot of times I think in the past it was just constantly trying to find the person of peace, either in the community or in the school, which is good. But I think it takes a long time to get there. So rather than just waiting to find that person, if I could just be really honest, it did take, because my heart was already for the school. It was a process in me of dealing with my pride and my self-righteousness of owning the school and owning the community and not inviting my husband into that. And I think it really has been this process of us coming together and praying together for the community. We do that once a week, but we also do it every day in lieu of the Great Commission, the Great Partnership of as we are going. So it's as we're walking our boys to school, as we are walking away from the school, we're praying. Yes, we couldn't have ever planned for it, but we're now seeing just so much fruit. And I was telling our staff, I was like, because we've heard it said a number of times that we are in a time of revival. I feel like we are in it. And the difference now is that it really is where we get to be the church and going out. It's not just the droves of people coming into the churches, it's the church going out and people getting discipled and transformed. And so, yeah, I feel like we're in it, and it's thrilling. It is so exciting.
The mission is transform ourselves, our families, and so forth. And, it has been a journey of God transforming me, because, and I was sharing this earlier, to where there's this feeling that I've got to be somebody, I've got to add up, right? And what God has been doing probably since November-ish last year is kind of stripping that away and asking me some real pointed questions. Do you want more for yourself and making a name for yourself, or do you want to see, this is God asking me, do you want to see my kingdom come and my will done? And so it has been kind of this shift. And it's taken me a long time to be thankful and to realize that God has placed me in here, right? God's put me in this community. God has given me Charis to partner with, that we can come together as the ecclesia, that we can pray, right? And so it's begun that way. It began with us praying together, and just I love what Dave Thompson says, is he says, go with blessing and see where the road leads. And I kind of, this last year, have suspended how I think it should look. And I said, God, you know what? I don't care what my title is. I don't care about any of that. I want to see you move, right? And what ended up happening is God started doing some crazy stuff. Here's one of the miracles that God did. He sent us 2 chickens. They showed up at our door. You're like, okay, that's crazy. They're the best chickens ever. They're cute. We love our chickens. But here's the thing. Our chickens opened the segue to a neighbor that she's like the chicken whisperer. And what's funny is we've built a connection with our neighbor. There's been so many people that we've built connection with over like these crazy things.
Yeah.
So like with chickens. So we've been having her come over, talk to us about how to raise chickens. And we've been having spiritual conversations. Charis has really been connecting. Their kids are interested in coming to our Easter services. There's that's been happening. I would have never planned that. And I'm not saying the first step to transformation in your community is go buy some chickens. We're not saying that. It's not a method, right? We're seeing how God is moving, right? So it kind of began that way. The other thing is we have this garden, right? In the back, we have a space for a garden.
Yeah.
I've had it in my mind. I'm like, it'd be cool to do a garden. Have I stepped forth to do it? No. The same neighbor was like, we should have a garden. I have some corn I want to plant. We've got a garden now in our neighborhood, right? And so people are excited about this garden, these chickens, a community garden. And it wasn't something I was like, and God gave me this vision for a community garden. It's just kind of something organic that's happening, right? And so like these things are happening. And through that, Charis being at the school, there's kids coming, they're being ministered to. We're ministering to families. One of the kids, we watch the kids, the mom has been dealing with, there's a divorce that she went through because her husband was hooked on meth, right? They lost everything, right? So this is something that Charis is ministering to this mom. We're ministering to families that in our community that are dealing with domestic violence. Charis is doing a parenting group with one of the moms in the school, right? So these doors are starting to open.
They're going to encounter the love of the Father. They're going to experience the presence of God, and that's it. It's a guarantee.